Hello everyone, my name is Rich Keener. I'm the Village Manager for the Village of Villa Park. And today's another one of my segments where I'll be talking about an upcoming board meeting. So folks, today's segment, I'll be talking about the board meeting on Monday, November 11th. And so let's begin. So for the formal board meeting for Monday, November 11th, number one on the formal agenda is a call to order the roll call. Number two is the Pledge of Allegiance. Number three is public comments on agenda items. And folks, that's the appropriate time for anyone in the audience to come to the podium, be recognized by our village president, and have comments or questions on items that are on the agenda for that night. Number four for Monday night is amendments to the agenda. And folks, that's the time for the president or board of trustees to revise the formal agenda for that evening. So moving on to number five, which is presentations. We have 5A, we have Community Pride Commission's Halloween Decorating Awards. We have 5B, which is a Budget 101 presentation. So Director Wachtel will provide a brief review of municipal finance matters because, folks, it is our budget season, so we'll be talking about our budget in upcoming board meetings. Moving on to 5C for Monday night is the Village of Villa Park received a certificate of achievement for excellence in financial reporting for our comprehensive annual financial report, also known as the CAFR, for the fiscal year ended April 30th, 2018. This is the 32nd consecutive year that the village has received this recognition. The GFOA established the CAFR program in 1945 to encourage, assist, and recognize state and local governments to go beyond the minimum requirements, generally accepted accounting principles, to prepare comprehensive annual financial reports that evidence the spirit of transparency and full disclosure. The goal of the program is to ensure that users of the financial statements have the information they need to evaluate the financial health of governments themselves. Reports submitted to the CAFR program are reviewed by selected members of the GFOA professional staff and the GFOA Special Review Committee, which is comprised of individuals with expertise in public sector financial reporting and includes financial statement preparers, independent auditors, academics, and other finance professionals. GFOA Executive Director Christopher Morrill recorded a video presentation for the award. The video can be viewed here, which it's https://YouTube Glad Fagon Y. So folks, we'll be playing this video live during our board meeting presentation. So it's kind of a nice 1-minute video that recognizes local governments throughout Illinois that have achieved the award. And so folks, I hope you've maybe had some time to take a look at our previous CAFRs, which were very transparent, full disclosure, and very enlightening. So hopefully sometime in the future you can kind of take a look at the year ended April for our year end 2018, December 31st, 2018. So moving forward, our consent agenda number 6, we have a couple of items. We have 6A, bill listing for the weeks of October 28th and November 4th, 2019, and a total amount of $632,504.63. And we have 6B, minutes from the board meeting held on October 28th, 2019. And so folks, moving on for Monday, November 11th agenda, we have number 7, first reading on ordinances to be codified. So the background for the first one here is the first reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, imposing a municipal retailer's occupation tax on the sale of cannabis. So the background is as follows. At the regular meeting of the Village Board held on October 28, 2019, the board voted to proceed with the necessary amendments to Village Code to accommodate changes to state law as it relates to the Cannabis Regulation and Tax Act. The ordinance being considered imposes a 3% municipal retailer's tax on the sale of cannabis. All tax dollars received as a result of this tax would be directly applied to the village's police and fire pension funds and would be reconsidered on or before December 31st, 2024. So folks, Monday we'll be talking about a 3% retailer's tax on the sale of cannabis. And as you're probably already well aware that the adult use recreational cannabis is zoned for a C3 here in Villa Park. So we'll be having that way. And then if you want to locate in a C3, you have to find a site and then proceed to apply for a special use through the Zoning and Planning Commission. And then eventually that request makes it to the village board for review as well. And Monday's item is a 3% retailer's tax on the sale of the cannabis. So folks, moving on to number 8 is a second reading on ordinances to be codified. We have a second and final reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending Chapter 4, Article 3 of the Villa Park Municipal Code, allowing the addition of a 6th gaming terminal at licensed establishments. So folks, the background for this item is that Public Act 101-31, effective June 28, 2019, amended the Video Gaming Act to permit 6 video gaming terminals at any establishment having a state license to operate video gaming terminals from the state of Illinois and a liquor license from the village. Currently, Villa Park Municipal Code only allows 5 video gaming terminals in establishments that have a state license to operate video gaming and a village liquor license. The ordinance for consideration would amend the village's municipal code to be consistent with the laws of the state, thereby allowing the addition of a 6th gaming terminal at licensed establishments in Villa Park. So folks, the state of Illinois allows 6 gaming terminals, and we're just going to change our municipal code to match the state law. So we'll go from 5 to 6, so the municipal code of Villa Park matches state statute. So moving on to number 9 for Monday night, November 11th, is ordinances. So we have 9A. We have an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, granting a variation to allow the upgrade of a legal non-conforming sign as to size at 220 East North Avenue. So folks, the background for this particular item is that a representative of Supreme Lobster has petitioned for a variance to allow an upgrade to a sign that is legal non-conforming as to size. The existing sign currently exceeds sign requirements for a freestanding sign. Ownership at Supreme Lobster wishes to change the existing manual changeable copy portion of the sign to an electronic message board. On September 12, 2019, the Zoning and Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval of this variance request. So folks, as I just read, the owners of Supreme Lobster want to update their legal non-conforming sign by adding an electronic message board and taking down the manual changeable text. And this should be a nice addition for that area. So moving on to 9B for Monday, November 11th, is ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, granting approval for an amended final planned unit development plan on property located at 151 West North Avenue. A petitioner is seeking an amendment to a previously approved planned unit development to add 2 high-speed diesel fueling stations with a canopy to the existing site located at 151 West North Avenue and generally known as the BP Pride of Villa Park gas station. On October 10th, the Zoning and Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval of the petition. So folks, the BP Pride gas station on North Avenue wants to add 2 high-speed diesel fueling stations with a canopy, and the Z&P Commission approved that, and now it comes to the board for consideration. So moving on to number 10 for Monday, ordinances abating property tax levy. So folks, we have a number of ordinances that we're going to try to have approved at the same time. And so let me begin. So number 10, ordinances abating property tax levies. As part of the annual property tax process, the village routinely abates a property tax levy for debt service when it has certain funds available to pay the debt. Abating the property tax levy means that we are informing the county that we, the village, do not need property tax revenues to pay the debt service on these bonds. And folks, we're talking about bonds that I'll be describing here in a moment. This is a common practice for general obligation alternate revenue bonds when there are other sufficient funds to make the debt service payments. The affected ordinances will abate property taxes for 6 different bond issues and 3 different categories of bonds. So we're going to have a TIF-3 bonds, we're going to have stormwater bonds, and we're going to have library bonds. This year we will be abating all or a portion of 6 bonds as follows. So in 2017 we have TIF-3 refunding bonds because the village will have enough funds from rollover bonds to be issued. 2017B, 2018A, and 2019A, stormwater alternate revenue bonds because the funds are available from monthly stormwater fees. And then we'll have the 2017C and 2018B library referendum bonds, and we'll have funding for those due to capitalized interest being used to make debt service payments. Next year, we hope for additional abatements for TIF-3, 2018C bonds, but expect smaller abatements for library referendum bonds due to exhausting capitalized interest. So folks, now we have 10A, which is an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2019 to pay the principal of and interest on $3,010,000 general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2017 of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. Then we have 10B, which is an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2019 to pay the principal of and interest on $1,150,000 of general obligation alternate bonds, sales tax alternate revenue source, Series 2017B of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. Then we have 10C, an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2019 to pay the principal of and interest on $2,645,000 of general obligation alternate bonds, sales tax alternate revenue source, Series 2018A of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. Then we have 10D, ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2019 to pay the principal of and interest on $4,745,000 of general obligation alternate bonds, sales tax alternate revenue source, Series 2019A of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. Then we have 10E, which is an ordinance abating a portion of the tax hereto levied for the year 2019 to pay certain interest on $5 million of general obligation library bonds, Series 2017C of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. And then we have 10F, which is an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2019 to pay certain interest on $5,600,000 of general obligation library bonds, Series 2018B of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois. So folks, all the ordinance I've read before this, we're abating the property tax. We're going to let the county know that we don't need to levy a property tax to pay the bond debt for those. So we have a number of bonds we'll be not levying a tax for, which is great news. So moving on to number 11, which is resolutions, we have 11A for Monday night, which is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, accepting a quote for a 2019 Ford E450 Cutaway with Supreme 16-foot box vehicle equipped with EnviroSight sewer televising equipment through the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program in an amount not to exceed $222,356.58, and to approve the addendum to the Master Tax Exempt Lease Purchase Agreement. So folks, the background for this particular item is as follows. Existing vehicle number 27, which is a 1995 GMC truck with televising equipment, is used to help maintain 41 miles of separate sanitary sewers and 36 miles of combined sewers. Due to its age, condition, and the village's changing needs, staff is requesting a replacement. Staff estimates an 85% loss in televising sewers for 2019 due to downtime while waiting for parts and repairs to the existing equipment. Staff is requesting authorization to purchase one 2019 Ford E450 Cutaway with Supreme 16-foot box vehicle equipped with EnviroSight sewer televising equipment with certain specifications. This purchase would be made through the Sourcewell Cooperative Contract from Standard Equipment Company of Chicago, Illinois, in an amount not to exceed $222,356.58, and would be financed through a lease purchase agreement. So due to the cost of the sewer televising truck and related equipment, staff recommends the attached lease terms to pay for equipment over a period of 4 years. The lease purchase was advertised competitively, receiving 5 proposals. American Capital Financial Services, Inc. of Lisle, Illinois, provided the lowest overall cost. The resolution for consideration would accept the lease terms for contract for a period of 4 years, which includes an initial budgeted payment of $50,000. Funds for the lease purchase are currently budgeted in wastewater fund account number 83-502-02401. It would also be included in future budgets. Existing vehicle number 27 would be sold at auction. So folks, we have a very old GMC truck, 1995, that has a need for a lot of maintenance, and the sewer televising equipment has been breaking down a lot. So staff is requesting authorization to purchase a new truck and new equipment, and then we'll sell the old truck and equipment. And then when we sell the old truck and equipment, we'll take those proceeds and put that right back into the equipment replacement fund. So folks, moving on to 11B for Monday night, November 11th. It's a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, adopting the 2020 Sugar Creek Golf Course annual budget. The Sugar Creek Golf Course Administrative Board has approved the proposed Sugar Creek Golf Course budget for fiscal year 2020, beginning on January 1st, 2020 and ending on December 31st, 2020. Proposed expenditures equal $1,070,328, and the proposed revenues equal $1,070,452, which results in a projected net profit of $124 for the year. According to the intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Villa Park and Elmhurst Park District, the proposed budget must be approved by both entities prior to implementation. So folks, we do this on an annual basis. We approve the proposed budget for the Sugar Creek Golf Course, and then it's implemented on January 1st. And if you recall, the Village of Villa Park and the Elmhurst Park District share in the ownership of the Sugar Creek Golf Course, so it takes both parent bodies to approve the budget before it can be implemented. So moving on to 11C for Monday night is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving the proposal of Sickich LLP for audit services. So folks, the background on this particular item is that the village recently concluded its 5-year agreement with Sickage LLP for its annual state-mandated audits. Proposals from qualified firms were recently requested for auditing services for the next 5 years. With 4 companies submitting bids, after careful consideration, staff recommends accepting the proposal from the firm of Sickage LLP to complete audits for the fiscal years ending December 31st, 2019 through 2023. To ensure a fresh perspective, Sickage would rotate the audit engagement partner and senior audit managers. This resolution would approve the 5-year agreement and the engagement letter required to begin the 12/31/2019 audit. So folks, our proposal is that we use Sickage LLP for another 5 years, and we've used those auditing folks for 5 years beforehand. And so after the contract expired, we did go out for proposals, as I just read, and Sickage LLP came back with what we believe is the most appropriate proposal. So moving on to 11D for Monday night is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving final change order number 1 to the contract between the Village of Villa Park and Earthworks Land Improvement and Development Corporation for construction of the Jackson Pond Outlet Project for a net deduction in the amount of $116.15. So folks, the background on this particular item is that the village has a contract with Earthworks Land Improvement and Development Corporation of Batavia, Illinois, for construction of the Jackson Pond Outlet Project. Proposed final change order number 1 consists of the balancing of contract quantities as measured in the field. The net amount of this proposed final change order number 1 is a deduction of $116.15 for an adjusted final contract amount of $305,601.85. So folks, what we're doing is we're closing out this project, which is the Jackson Pond Outlet Project, and we have a deduction of $116.15. So now moving on to 11E for Monday night, which is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving final change order number 1 to the contract between the Village of Villa Park and McGinty Brothers, Inc. for the 2018 South Monterey Stormwater Quality Project for a net deduction in the amount of $6,292.75. So folks, the background on this item is that the village has a contract with McGinty Brothers, Inc. of Long Grove, Illinois, for the 2018 South Monterey Stormwater Quality Project. So proposed final change order number 1 consists of the final balancing of contract quantities as measured in the field. The net amount of this proposed final change order number 1 is a deduction in the amount of $6,292.75 for an adjusted final contract amount of $64,621.75. So folks, what we're doing here is we're closing out the 2018 South Monterey Stormwater Quality Project, and then we have another deduction in the amount of $6,292.75. So moving on to 11F for Monday night, we have a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving an engineering services agreement with Civil Tech Engineering, Inc. of Itasca, Illinois, for Phase 2 design engineering of the 2020 Street Improvement Program in an amount not to exceed $119,400. So folks, the background on this particular item is that staff proposes to initiate engineering design of the 2020 Street Improvement Project. In addition to the locations that were already planned for improvements in 2020, this proposed project would also include streets and alleys previously planned for improvements under the former 2019 Street Improvement Project. Staff proposes to utilize the services of Civil Tech Engineering, Inc. of Itasca, Illinois, For these efforts, Civil Tech Engineering has submitted a proposal to the village to provide design engineering services for the 2019 street improvement project in an amount not to exceed $119,400. Funding for this project would be taken from Street Improvement Fund referendum account number 60-502-03-292 and Street Improvement Fund, which is a capital account number 60-502-10-292. So folks, again, we're planning to do our 2020 street improvement projects, and so we want to have a Phase 2 design engineering contract approved by the board so we can get the design finished and go out to bid probably late winter, early spring, so the construction can start late spring, early summer. And we will have a map, folks, with this particular item on our website when we post our agenda, so you can see the roads that'll be under construction in late spring, early summer 2020. So moving on to 11G for Monday night is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving a license agreement with the owner of the property at 31 West North Avenue for construction and maintenance of a parking lot in the alley right-of-way. So folks, the background on this particular item is the property owner at 31 West North Avenue wishes to repave and maintain the existing parking lot in the alley right-of-way located south of North Avenue and west of Princeton Avenue. A license agreement is needed to grant the property owner permission for the proposed construction, maintenance, and continued use of the right-of-way. So folks, we have a property owner that has a parking lot, and some of that parking lot is over our right-of-way, and so they want to repave their parking lot, and they need a license agreement with the village to do that, because we happen to have some utilities underneath that parking lot, and if we have to disturb that parking lot, then the owner of the parking lot will have to repave it at their expense, and that's part of the license agreement. So moving on to 11H for Monday night is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving final change order number 2 to the contract between the Village of Villa Park and Arrow Road Construction Company for the 2018 street improvement project for a net deduction in the amount of $382,269.14. So folks, the background on this item is that the village has a contract with Arrow Road Construction Company of Mount Prospect, Illinois for the 2018 street improvement project. So proposed final change order number 2 consists of the final balancing of contract quantities as measured in the field. The net amount of this proposed final change order number 2 is a deduction of $382,269.14 for an adjusted final contract amount of $1,424,316.36. So folks, as I've just read, we're closing out the 2018 street improvement project, and we have a rather large deduction. And that's, just as I read, as we've measured final quantities used in the field, and obviously we did not need all the proposed quantities. And additionally, this is a second change order, so the first change order was an increase in certain contract quantities. But I'm glad we're closing out the 2018 street improvement project, and we have a net adjustment deduction of $382,269.14. So what we'll do is we'll take those funds, put those back in road improvement for next year and the year after, etc. So moving on for Monday night, November 11th, number 12 is public comments on non-agenda items. Number 13 is the village clerk's report. Number 14 is the village trustees report. Number 15 is the village president's report. Number 16 is the village manager's report, my report. Number 17 is executive closed session, which pursuant to the general provisions of the Open Meetings Act, we have A, 5 ILCS 120-2C1, personnel matters, We have C2, collective bargaining matters. We'll have C5, purchase or lease of property. We have C6, sale or lease of property. We have C11, pending litigation. We have C21, discussion of closed session minutes. And folks, we will not have any action items after the executive closed session, so number 18 is adjournment. And then our next meeting is scheduled for November 25th, 2019. So folks, we have a pretty good agenda for Monday night, November 11th. So if you have some time, you can tune in to our cable channels, or you can watch it live stream to the Village's YouTube location. Or if you have some time, come in person and participate in the discussions. So again, my name is Rich Keener. It's my honor to be the Village's village manager, and I hope to see you soon. Take care.